The Senate will come to order. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Senator Brooks, Senator Buck, Senator Canizaro, Senator Dennis, Senator Donate, Senator Dondero Loop, Senator Gochia, Senator Hammond, Senator Hansen, Senator Hardy, Senator Harris, Senator Lang, Senator Neal, Senator Orenshaw, Senator Pickard, Senator Brady, Senator Scheibel, Senator Sievers-Gansert, Senator Settlemeyer, Senator Spearman, Senator Tatro.
Let the record reflect there are 21 senators present. Please rise for the invocation by Senator Dina Neal.
Oh, thank you. Father God, thank you for our ability to be here today. You're the defender of all people. And we just hope that each and every day we gain more wisdom in this building to govern your people. And that we learn each and every time that we enter this building, that we learn how to deal with each other with less division, less partisanship, and actually have the ability to find in our hearts a way to have peace with each other, Lord God. I just thank you for the end of this day. And I just hope that if we ever have to return to this building, that it's not for foolishness. And so I just thank you, Lord God, and bless every one of us. And thank you.
Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Order business number 3, reading and approval of the journal. By previous order of the Senate, the reading of the journal is dispensed with, and the President and Secretary are authorized to make necessary corrections and additions. Order business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, November 16, 2021. To the Honorable Senate, I have the honor to inform your Honorable Body that the Assembly amended and on this day passed as amended Senate Bill number 1, Amendment number 2, and I respectfully request your Honorable Body to concur in said amendment. Signed, Susan Furlong, Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Order business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I move that pursuant to Senate Standing Rule number 53, I authorize Senator Sievers-Gansert to use remote technology systems to attend, participate, vote, and take any other action in the proceedings of the Senate.
And that concludes order business number 9 at this time.
All right, we're going to order of business number 14. Unfinished business.
Senate Bill number 1, introduced by Senate Select Committee on Redistricting and Elections, revises the election districts for members of the legislature, members of the State Board of Education, and representatives in Congress, and the petition districts for certain statewide initiatives or referendums. The Assembly has amended this bill with Amendment number 2. Does the Senate wish to concur or not concur in this matter?
Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I move that the Senate concur in Assembly Amendment number 2 to Senate Bill 1.
Senator Orenshaw has moved to concur in Assembly Amendment number 1. Number 2, are there any remarks?
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Assembly Amendment number 2 to Senate Bill 1 adjusts the districts set forth in Senate Bill 1 to reflect the addition of 1,612 inmates who were incarcerated within facilities of the Nevada Department of Corrections on Census Day, April 1st, 2020. The amendment adjusts the geographic boundaries of proposed districts for the United States House of Representatives. It adjusts the geographic boundaries of proposed Senate Districts 13 through 17 and Senate District 19, and adjust the geographic boundaries of proposed Assembly Districts 25, 26, 27, Assembly Districts 30, 32, and 33, Assembly Districts 36, and Assembly Districts 38. I urge this body's concurrence with this amendment.
Are there any further remarks? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yea. Opposed, nay. The motion is carried.
Nay. And that concludes order of business number 14.
Going to go to order of business number 9, motions, resolutions, and notices. Senator Canizaro.
Senate Resolution Number 4, introduced by Senators Canizaro and Senator Selmayr, et cetera, expresses appreciation to the Senate staff for their service during the 33rd special session of the Nevada Legislature. End of resolution.
Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I move to adopt Senate Resolution Number 4.
You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I think there is, frankly, no situation where we are in this building and can do any modicum of business whatsoever without our incredible and amazing staff who continue to step up for us time and time again. And Senate Resolution Number 4 seeks to express our very sincere thanks to all of their hard work during this special session to keep us moving on track and to keep us doing the business and the jobs of the state legislature. In Senate Resolution Number 4, we acknowledge that because we had a delay in the completion of the 2020 decennial census data, we are here on an extraordinary occasion where we would not ordinarily be in a special session. And so we have been called upon to come up to Carson City to consider the census data and the redistricting tasks that we have at hand. And that has had us all in this building for the last few days. And of course, we have such amazing staff here in the Senate. Secretary of the Senate, Claire J. Clift, who has helped us get ready for this session, and of course, Sherry Rodriguez, who was with us as our temporary Secretary of the Senate and did a fantastic job for us while we worked through the few days before today. All of the staff that is with us today helped to prepare for that and kept us moving right along. And of course, they have an incredible work ethic, proficiency, and ability to overcome obstacles. They are able to meet the demands of our special session for all of us in order to draw our maps. And of course, I would be remiss if we didn't thank also the Sergeant at Arms and all of our awesome staff there who has kept us fed and well caffeinated and has made sure that we've had all the materials that we need to do the jobs here. And we just simply cannot do this job without all of their very hard work. And so we wanted to thank all of our amazing Senate staff. And I know we've got some in the back over here as well who helped us with our committees and keep us moving along here to do the business. And so we just wanted to send a very, very heartfelt thanks for all of their hard work.
Thank you. Senator Selmayr.
Thank you, President Pro Tempore. I'll try to be a little bit shorter than my colleague. You guys have the impossible task as a Senate staff of making sure that things are well-oiled, moving along, and making us look good, which is impossible, but you do it every single time. And I'm so grateful for everything that you've done in that respect and giving up your weekend to deal with us. That says a lot. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. Are there any further remarks? I just want to second and third those comments. I couldn't do what I need to do to help keep this movement, the meeting moving without the great staff that we have. And so thank you for all the work that you do. All right. Any further remarks? All those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. The motion is carried.
Senate Resolution Number 5, introduced by Senators Canizaro, Selmayr et al., expressing appreciation to the staff of the Legislative Council Bureau for their service during the 33rd special session of the Nevada Legislature. End of resolution.
Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I move to adopt Senate Resolution Number 5.
You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. Of course, we are also incredibly lucky to have amazing LCB staff with us during this special session, as always. They do an extraordinary job of making sure that we have bills drafted and committees going and all of the things that come along with running a special session in addition to our Senate staff. And we wanted to send an appreciation to all of them for helping us as well. They, of course, were called here for this special session that we would not ordinarily be in, but for delays due to the COVID pandemic, and have come in to yet again, I think, dazzle us with their ability to really put all of our thoughts and ideas into action. We are so incredibly grateful to all of the Legislative Council Bureau staff, everyone who has helped us with our technological aspects and doing a fantastic job. And we know that is a tough job, and they do a fantastic job of it. Our legal counsel and all the staff in the legal division and the research division, who are always able to answer all of our questions, and of course all the administration who has helped us to achieve what we need to do here and get through it all. We especially wanted to acknowledge in this resolution Michael Stewart, who's the director of our research division, Haley Prohl, who's our GIS analyst and redistricting GIS specialist, Kathy Steinel, who is also our redistricting specialist and developer, Asher Killian, who is the chief deputy legislative counsel, and Samuel Quast, the senior deputy legislative counsel, who deserve that special recognition for their very professional and efficient services during the legislative session, and for definitely navigating the logistical challenges of redistricting software, which can be quite complicated. But they have been amazing to work with and really have helped us along the way. And again, we wouldn't be able to be here without all of them. So just wanted to send a very loud thank you to them as well for their really hard work and dedication. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Sotomayor.
Thank you, President Pro Tempore. I appreciate the kind words from my colleague. I agree. The vast overwhelming majority of everybody within the LCB has always done a great job of being independent and making sure to work with all sides and try to, very hard to navigate very difficult situations at times. And I greatly appreciate everything they have done to try to facilitate all parties and to try to do what's best for the state of Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further remarks? We have amazing staff, and we are blessed to have them. And if we could just pass a bill that keeps them from being able to retire, so that we could just keep. All right, we're going to go. Let's see. Let me finish that. So if there's no further remarks, all those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. Let's go to order business number 6, messages from the Assembly.
Assembly Chamber, Carson City, November 16, 2021. To the Honorable Senate, I have the honor to inform your Honorable Body the Assembly on the date this day adopted Assembly Concurrent Resolution Number 2, signed Susan Furlong, Chief Clerk of the Assembly. End of messages.
Thank you. And let's now go to order of business number 9.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution Number 2, introduced by Assemblyman Frierson et al. And Senators Canizaro et al., memorializing former state senator and Congressman James Hubert Bilbray. End of resolution.
Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I move that the Senate do adopt Assembly Concurrent Resolution 2.
You've heard the motion. Are there any remarks? Senator Orenshaw.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Pro Tem. This is a resolution which is important to our body, to this institution. It's also particularly important to me as someone who grew up really admiring Congressman Bilbray as, well, really one of the reasons I wanted to get into politics. He was someone who was so dedicated to trying to help his constituents and trying to, make their lives better. And I saw that firsthand as a kid growing up in Las Vegas. I saw his commitment to help the little guy. I never got to meet him when he was a member of the state Senate or when he was on the Board of Regents, when he was a district attorney. I got to meet him when he was a congressman. I remember walking into his Las Vegas office, and there was the big photo of him with Senator Ted Kennedy when he walked right in. And he stood for his values, and he did what he believed in. And he served us just tremendously, not only in the House of Representatives, when the federal government wanted to look at closing some of our bases here in Nevada. He served on that commission, looking at base closures around the United States. And he fought for us to keep military bases in rural parts of our state that might otherwise have closed. He was a real champion, and I remember, I don't want to go too far off a tangent, but many, many years ago when I was a young Democrat, back when I was young, he allowed some of my young Democrat friends who worked in his congressional office to have a surprise birthday party for me in his at his campaign office over in Southeast Las Vegas. And, he was just such a wonderful person. His wife, Mikey, is one of the most special people that I've ever met. We're so lucky to have his daughter, Assemblywoman Bilbray, serving over in the Assembly. And I know that one of his other daughters was principal of Mendoza School, which is in Senate District I represent. And then, tremendous service, from his other daughter. So it's very personal. He was just such a special man, and it was such a tremendous loss this year. I urge adoption of this concurrent resolution.
Thank you. Senator Cannizzaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I rise in support of Assembly Concurrent Resolution number 2. My dear friend and Assemblywoman, who represents over in the northwest part of the Vegas Valley with me, is sort of my first, actual meeting with Congressman Bilbray. And I can say that while I didn't get to meet him while he was a congressman, getting to meet him just as a person and a dad who was super proud of his daughter and her accomplishments, it was really just such an honor. And he was such a good man, I think, and such a sort of kind and caring and welcoming individual. I remember that I went to see his memorial services, and I feel a little, I feel like I should have known quite a bit more about all of the amazing work that he had done. But I think it's because he did so, and one of the things that really stood out to me was that he did so with such humility, not really seeking a lot of public fanfare for doing what he thought was the right thing to do in his service. And it included everything from, championing UNLV and its establishment and making sure that there was a good university and a strong student body for that university from the inception, to doing things like championing the Postal Service at the federal level. And I think so many things that also my colleague from Senate District 21 highlighted as well, that I feel as though, I kind of got to meet the man who was a very proud father of his daughter, and I know is still so proud of her and all of her accomplishments, but also just really lucky to live in a state where someone decided to serve and did so with such honor and grace and humility. And I'm really grateful for all of his service, and I just would urge this body to acknowledge not only that, but his well-lived life, and adopt this resolution. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore.
Thank you. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I can't add anything to what my other colleagues have said, but I didn't have the privilege of knowing Congressman Bilbray during his time of service, but I met him shortly after I was elected, and I'll just say this: he was the kind of person that no matter how busy it looked like he would always take time to answer a question, always say hi, smile, and so I just really appreciated that. We'll miss him physically, but I'm sure that the work that he's done will still stay here and speak for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I support this resolution. I had the opportunity to be involved with the Bilbray family, and that was before I met Jim Bilbray in the parking lot, going to an event, and he was a humble, gracious person, even though he was, quote, no longer in power. It was a pleasant conversation. And as I look at the mark that he has left on Nevada, he has been able to be part of that bipartisan coalition that has done so many things for Nevada. I represent the Bilbray family who live in Laughlin, and Bob Bilbray and Ashland, for instance, have appreciated his service, and I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the power, the influence, the guidance, and the appreciation of the Nevada state by the Bilbray family and what they have done as a family for the state of Nevada. So this resolution probably is understated, but I do support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Neal.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. I rise in support of this resolution. I grew up with the Bilbray family. I mean, as a legacy kid, just the same as Shannon being a legacy child. You grow up in this building and you see so much, and the greats that came before us that operated in this building. And I honor the fact that Mr. Bilbray was able to maintain his courage, because courage is one of those things that I think this process tries to push out of you and crush. This process is one of the things that it kind of makes you either align or stand out. And I think he stood out, and he tried to make sure that he did what was right for his conscience and was right for people. And I see that in his daughter. I've seen her take hard votes on the other side of the house, and that's something that's passed down. You don't just get that, it's passed down, and it's a mantle. And so I wasn't able to go to the service, but it hurt me deeply that he was lost in Nevada, and he was great he served us well. And so my heart goes out to the family, because I know that it's a long journey after you lose someone, and just thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak on that.
Thank you. Senator Darrell Loop.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I have the pleasure of actually knowing Shannon before she was Shannon. We lived 2 doors down when I was a child from the Bilbrays, and so I was just enough older than Bridget and her departed brother Kevin to babysit those kids. And I learned some powerful lessons from the Bilbrays. Mrs. Bilbray asked me to take the 2 older kids with us trick-or-treating, and Kevin couldn't have sweets. And she gave me candy bars, and I repeated this to Mrs. Bilbray one time, and I don't think she remembered, but I learned a powerful lesson of patience and kindness that day. And so knowing that my parents knew the Bilbrays and that now I get to serve with Shannon, this has been also an emotional journey for me, because we had parents who were community members first, along with being parents, and taught us the value of service. So I absolutely stand in support of this resolution, and I could go on with family stories, but thank you, Assemblywoman, for being with us today.
Are there any further remarks? Just want to say that I am grateful for the example he set for all of us as a true statesman. I'm grateful for my association with the congressman. He everything that everybody said, he was that. You could talk to him and you could see in his eyes that he cared. And so I'm grateful that today we have this opportunity to honor him and the great work that he did and the great legacy that he leaves. Nevada's a better place. This country's a better place because of his service. So thank you. Hearing no other remarks, all those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. The resolution is adopted. and ordered transmitted to the Assembly.
And that concludes order of business number 9.
Okay, order of business number 16, remarks from the floor. Oh, yes, Senator Owenshaw.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Pro Tem. At the close of the regular session earlier this year, we recognized 4 of our colleagues who were term limited. Those were the senators representing Senate Districts 2, 12, 16, and 17. While during this special session we have welcomed a new senator to represent Senate District 16, I would like to thank again the senators representing Senate Districts 2, 12, and 17 for their dedicated service to this body. There are some other individuals who are retiring before the end of the year from service to our state through the Legislative Council Bureau. And one of those individuals I've had the privilege of getting to work with, become very close with, and really work side by side with on legislation and interim committees and regular standing committees. That is Michael Stewart, Director of our LCB Research Division. Unless we are surprised with another special session between now and December 17th, 2021, this will be Director Stewart's last session before retiring from state service. Michael Stewart joined the Research Division on October the 5th, 1996, after about 2.5 years with the Elections Division of the Nevada Secretary of State's office. That was under former Secretary of State Cheryl Lau, where Mr. Stewart worked closely with local election officers in the administration of Nevada's election laws. So it is fitting that Mr. Stewart would become our lead staff on redistricting and reapportionment. Believe it or not, because you certainly wouldn't believe it from looking at him, this is Director Stewart's 3rd decade assisting the Nevada Legislature with redistricting and reapportionment. I had the privilege of getting to work with Mr. Stewart. My very first opportunity to chair during the 2011 session, I thought it would be a good idea for Nevada to adopt a bottle deposit, where there's a little 5 cents you put on a can or a bottle when you buy a soda or water, you get it back when you return it. And the bill had some people who loved it, some people who hated it, but it ended up turning into a study thanks to former State Senator Debbie Smith. And at that time, she was chair of the Legislative Commission, and she rightly or wrongly trusted me in chairing this interim committee and said, I want you to chair it. And she decided I'd need some really big, great help chairing that committee, and she assigned Michael Stewart to be the policy analyst on that committee on recycling and bottle deposits. And back then, we didn't have the technology of Zoom and being able to do so much through that, so we met in person, and Director Stewart would fly down to Las Vegas quite often at the Sawyer Building, where we'd have our meetings and we'd teleconference. And he worked so diligently on that issue. It was an issue I was passionate about, and that I think he could tell I really cared about, trying to encourage recycling in our state. And just tremendous getting to work with him. And I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to work with Director Stewart again. However, I was very lucky when I was able to chair the Senate Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections to get to have his able help through 2 regular sessions. So I've been very privileged to get to work with Mr. Stewart, both in the interim on that Committee on Recycling and then on the Committee on Elections. And our work on the Committee on Recycling, Director Stewart, I know inspired one of my colleagues from Southern Nevada to work on that good issue. And she mentioned to me that a lot of the work we had in the minutes and the reports that you helped us find were basis for her to use on research on her legislation. And we're still trying on that issue, but we are a lot farther thanks to your hard work and your diligence and everything you've done. It was a very, very wise decision when you took over the research division, and we've been very lucky. I know that it's been tremendous, the work that when I've had a research request or when I've had constituents who I've needed some extra help with, and you've been able to help me with my constituents. It's Director Stewart, on a personal note, has also helped 2 generations of legislators in my family. My mother, when she served in the Assembly, was on the Nevada Public Lands Committee and got to work with Michael Stewart there as well. Often, the Public Lands Committee would meet in remote areas of Nevada and even in our nation's capital. we spend so much time with our legislative staff that they become more like family than staff. And I do also want to recognize Director Stewart's family, his wife Amanda, and his two daughters, Allie and Melanie. Director Stewart, I want to thank you for your professionalism and support of the Nevada Legislature for the past 25 years. I want to thank you to your family for supporting you during the busiest, most hectic days, sessions that would go on till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and the time you had to spend, flying around the state and driving around the state and around the country to help us. I hope that the director will not be a stranger to these halls in your retirement. I also hope that you will find much deserved time to enjoy with your family and, in singing, because Director Stewart also likes to sing and has been in the past part of a barbershop quartet. So I just wanted to note that we are losing, I think, one of our most dedicated LCB staff, and thank you for everything you've done, Director Stewart.
Right, Senator Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I would be remiss if I didn't say how grateful I was to have served in this body, to have the relationships that I treasure with the staff, yes, lobbyists, colleagues on both sides of the virtual aisle. What a blessing it has been for me and my family. Speaking of my family, I would like to introduce my wife, Jill, on the floor of the Senate, but she couldn't be here. So if you could please make her feel welcome in absentia. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I first wanted to welcome to the Senate my colleague, my friend, and my Assemblywoman from Assembly District 34, Shannon Bilbray Axelrod, who is with us today so that we can honor her dad, who I know, again, is just so proud of her. Mr. President Pro Tem, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Shannon over the last few years. Her daughter, Molly, was my youngest supporter constituent until recently. I think there might be someone else who's just like a little bit younger who hopefully, as of right now, still likes me very much. But her daughter, Molly, is just a true gem and like just one of the funniest kids that I have ever met, and I love having her and her daughter and her husband Danny as constituents of Senate District 6, and just getting to know them and become friends with them. I just am so glad to have you here with us today in the Senate, although I know we're missing Dad very much, and just thank you for being here with us, and if everyone could make Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod feel welcome.
Welcome. It's good to have you here with us.
And then, of course, I have with me the infamous and amazing and talented and wonderful Director Michael Stewart. And I think that my colleague from Senate District 21 really did a great job of sort of reminding all of us of what an invaluable friend and staff and piece of this legislative puzzle that you are. My very first session, Director Stewart and I got to work together because I chaired the Legislative Operations and Elections Committee. And I just truly enjoyed not only your amazing wealth of knowledge on, I think, almost everything. And there was no question that I had that he couldn't answer, and quite frankly kept me doing what I needed to do in chairing a committee for the very first time. I always felt exceedingly confident because I knew that he was there with me and was not going to let me kind of unravel the entire legislature of the state of Nevada, which is what I was pretty sure I was close to doing every time I gavelled in a meeting. So we made it through, but I couldn't have done it without him. And since then, I just have really enjoyed just getting to know you and becoming friends, and just I just am going to miss you so much, and I don't even know how to put that into words. But I'm really grateful to have him here with us today. And I know personally will miss you tremendously. It won't be the same without you. And so if we can also just make him feel welcome on the floor here.
Thank you for all your service. Senator Harris.
Thank you so much, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I did not want us to gavel out without also mentioning Renee Yeckley, who will also be retiring here very soon and has kept all of our bill ideas somehow together in a manageable process. I very much remember when I was appointed and Renee gave me a call and said, oh, well, what BDRs would you like to submit? And I said, well, what's a BDR? And with graciousness that is very much evident in Renee, she explained the process to me without any judgment, and has been there ever since for each and every one of us, I think I can say with confidence, guiding these ideas, crazy or not, from conception to text. And that is not easy, given the, 1,200 or so bills we consider every session. I don't know where Renee is, but I hope I'm embarrassing her appropriately. And I think I speak for the body when I say that we will miss her as well and are very appreciative of her service. If we could all give her a warm welcome.
I don't have the words to express my thanks to Renee, and I know there was a few times there where I was submitting a bill at 1 minute, and she was always there. She was always pleasant, and I appreciate all the work that she's done. All right, Senator Orenshaw, I believe you forgot to introduce someone.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Yes, I've got some very special constituents with me here today, and they reminded me that I forgot to introduce them. I'm very, very lucky to have my 8-year-old son, Luca Orenshaw, with me, and my 9-year-old, Ren. And thank you to the Majority Leader for letting them see democracy in action today. And thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. Please make them feel welcome.
Welcome, Luca and Rand. We appreciate you being here with us today. Senator Spearman.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. And unfortunately, Senator Harris, my colleague from Southern Nevada, beat me to it. But I just wanted to say a couple of things about Renee as well as the entire legal staff. They helped us with some bills that have been groundbreaking not only in Nevada, but groundbreaking across the country. And I think probably the most notable one is helping with the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment, and working with me tirelessly to make sure that we had the right words to say. And it was because Nevada ratified that we had the other two states. So our legal staff is not just here for us, but much of the work, many times the work that they do, reaches other people across the country. So thank you, Renee. And if my colleague from Southern Nevada didn't embarrass you, I hope I am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Senator Dondarello.
Thank you for the indulgence, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I, too, would like to publicly thank Renee Yeckley, who has just been a source of consummate information, professionalism, efficiency. I cannot say enough. She's been an amazing addition to not only to the state of Nevada, but to my personal career here in this building. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that I believe the ever-capable Will King will be also retiring, and so I would like to thank him as well publicly, because the two of them are leaving with vast amounts of knowledge that will be very hard to replace. So thank you very much to both of them.
Thank you. Senator Hardy?
Thank you for recognizing me for a second time, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I just found out that Renee Yeckley liked everybody, not just me. Thank you.
Except that I was her favorite.
No, I was.
Out of order. Okay. All right. Any other? Oh, Senator Dontel, did you have a?
No, sorry. I pushed that one by accident when I was trying to say I was the favorite, because I really was.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to give remarks? I guess I'll take just a moment. Thank you for putting up with me and as the Senate President Pro Tempore. I don't know that I'll have another opportunity, but it's been great. I love being up here because I get to see your faces. When we're down there, you kind of see, you have to turn around to see things. But from up here, I can see, and I can even see folks that are sitting up, and it's amazing. And so it's been an honor for me to serve. And I appreciate during the special session our staff, just to make sure that we can keep this going. And I finally figured out how to do it. Thanks to Claire, she kept saying, "Do this," and here's the manual. And it's like I finally figured out what she was saying. So thank you. So with that, Senator Ratty.
Thank you, President Pro Tempore. I didn't want us to adjourn without just taking one moment to acknowledge and thank our newest senator, Senator Tatro, for his service. Jumped in, stepped up to the plate at a very short notice, represented Washoe County well. So thank you for being here and helping us to conduct the business that we needed to conduct. You are appreciated, and congratulations on your new title.
Yes, thank you very much. And it was great to meet your family the other day. So. All right, I don't have any other requests. So with that, at this time, I will appoint Senators Neal, Spearman, and Tatro as a committee to notify the Assembly that the Senate is ready to adjourn sine die. Also, I will appoint Senators Hardy, Lang, and Scheibel as a committee to notify the Governor that the Senate is ready to adjourn sine die. Will the committees please attend to your business and return to the Senate chamber as quickly as possible? The Senate will be in recess, subject to the call of the chair. Everyone stay on the floor for just a minute. Oh. The Senate will come back to order. Mr. Sergeant at Arms.
Mr. President Pro Tempore, the Assembly delegation is at the bar of the Senate.
Welcome. Welcome to the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. We are here to let you know that the Assembly has completed its business expeditiously, and we are ready to sine die.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to work with you during this the 33rd special session. Please convey our best wishes to the Assembly.
It's a
The Senate will be in recess awaiting the return of our special committees. The Senate will come back to order. Senator Neal.
Mr. President Pro Tem, your appointed committee has notified the Assembly that the Senate is ready to adjourn sine die.
Thank you, Senator Neal. Senator Hardy.
Mr. President Pro Tem, your appointed committee has notified Governor Sisolak that the Senate is ready to adjourn sine die.
Thank you, Senator Hardy. Senator Canizaro.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tempore. I move that the 33rd special session of the Senate of the Legislature of the State of Nevada adjourn sine die.
You've heard Senator Canizaro's motion. All those in favor signify by saying yay. Opposed, nay. The motion is carried. The 33rd special session of the Nevada Legislature is adjourned sine die.